Welcome to Coexpace, the Invisible Crisis Summit. There are emergencies we can see and others we can only feel. The ones that make headlines have noise, urgency, and numbers. But this one is quietly living around us. It's in our hearts, it's in our homes, it's in the spaces between us. It isn't a crisis of the body, it's a crisis of the soul. We call it the invisible emergency because it hides behind our routines, our smiles, our constant motions. It hides behind the feeling that we should be fine even when we're not. We built a world that moves faster than our ability to breathe, to be. We talk to everyone and rarely to ourselves. We chase information, approval, distraction, and somewhere along the way, we forgot how simply to be. We measure success in speed, not serenity. We glorify productivity, not presence. And so our minds run while our souls wait for us to catch up. But maybe this exhaustion isn't a personal failure. Maybe it's a collective message, a sign that we're falling out of the rhythm of life itself. Healing begins when we stop running, when we pause long enough to listen to the body, to the breath, to the silence, when we stop asking, what's wrong with me? And start asking, what has happened to us? Because we are living through, and it's not just an individual struggle, it's a collective, a shared imbalance, a mirror held up how we live, and the way forward is together. Every act of healing ripples outward. When one person finds balance, a family breathes easier. When a leader learns to pause, a community begins to heal. When we learn to listen to another, we start to remember who we are. That is why Coexpace is about turning awareness into empathy and empathy into action. Real strength in today's world isn't about endurance. It's about gentleness. It's the courage to feel deeply without breaking, to slow down, even when the world tells you to rush, to stay kind, even when it feels easier to disconnect. Science helps us to understand the mind, but spirituality helps us to remember the soul, and art helps us to bridge them both. Through words, movement, music, and color, we express what can always be explained in words. That's how healing becomes human again. So before we begin, I invite you to pause, to breathe, to be fully here, because healing isn't a luxury, it's our shared responsibility.